Hey everybody, welcome back to the Laserdisc Repair Bench. This video we have a Rotel RDA-980 that we're going to mod to have a digital out. This has a, I think, 25 pin connector. Normally that connects to a receiver, and that is really old stuff. So we're going to give it an optical jack and modernize it a little bit. So I have not even opened the box. We're going to go ahead and cut this open. Hopefully it's in really good condition. Woof on that top. It's gonna need some paint. Let's plug it in, see if it works. Got a standby light. Actually, no, that's on. It's just pushed in. Okay, everything lights up. So the screws for this thing are kind of unique. They're on the bottom. Insides look really clean. All right, so we've got our inputs over here. We've got RF, and then we've got two digital audio ins, and then some speaker settings. We've got the 5.1 channel DB25 pin cable, and then we also do, I was wrong, we actually have outputs for 5.1. So you got your speakers, you got your center, and then you got your subwoofer. So we'll put the optical jack maybe over here. But either way, we're going to solder it in first and then make sure it works, and then we'll figure out where to put it on the back. Okay, so we have our pigtail optical out cable right here. So white is my digital signal, green is positive 5 volts, black is ground. And tap points are going to be right up here. It's hard to see it in the shadow here. This guy right here is 5 volts. And then for ground, I end up just using one of these screws. So something cool about the Rotel is you can tap 2 different points for AC3 out to the audio jack. One of the tap points will just output AC3. So if you do AC3 in to the processor and you hook it up this way, it'll only process that signal. Whereas if you plug a digital cable, like digital coax, into one of these other 2 jacks, the other tap is actually a switcher. So it detects whether it's an AC3 signal or it's just a pure digital audio signal from the Laserdisc player. So obviously I prefer to have more options. So I'll show you both tap points, but ultimately I'll use the one that is the switching input. So right here, it's not this outer one, but it's the inner solder point. Sorry for the glare. Not the outer one, but the inner solder point. That is AC3 only. And then to get the switching input, it's this chip. It's 1, 2, 3 over from this side. So the third leg, you have to solder right to the leg. Just make sure you got steady hands. So let's go ahead and solder, get the connection going. We'll power up the machine again, make sure that we're getting a light, and then we'll test signal through it. Pretty straightforward. So like I said before, we're going to put the jack right about here. So I'm just going to make sure my cables are long enough, and my 5 volts just barely going to reach. I was worried about that one a little bit. The ground, we're going to have more than enough, so I'll probably cut that off a little bit. Just going to go ahead and tin these wires. What I like to do is tin them a little bit long and cut them back. There's a lot of extra solder there. This ground cable is going to be long because we're going to loop it around a screw terminal. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit extra solder points. Tin this thing. So what I normally do is I just send this under the AC3 board here, or the DSP board rather. Cables are reasonably the right length. We'll do some cleanup. We'll do probably some hot glue to secure these down. But for now, it looks like I'm going to reach perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and make my hole, spare you the noise and all that of making a square hole with a round drill bit. So we'll come right back and you can see the installation, the final installation, and we'll test it out too. And we are back. We have a hole made, lined up really well. Just got a little way of the subwoofer label, but let's go ahead and put this in. We'll go ahead and sink a screw into there. Looks perfect. And for the test, we do get a light. All right, last thing we'll have to do is test signal. Stay tuned. All right, we're back and we're ready to test. We've got the Rotel powered on. On the back of it, we've got the AC3 connected. It's RF. We've got the optical out. Optical out's connected into the receiver, and this goes back to the player. Go ahead and put the disc in. It's working.